Our team did an excellent job just finding a way to get it done. You can't say enough about our players' resilience, their ability to just stick together, stay connected. It didn't start off great at all for us offensively, and that was a result of some of the situations I put us in. But the guys settled in. We made some plays at the end of the half. I thought it was huge to be able to have our special teams pin them down deep, resulting in a safety to get us on the board from the start. And then really, when you just look at playing complementary football, offense, defense, special teams, all three phases for the outcome, really proud of our team today, and coaches did an excellent job, and really, hats off to Coach McCarthy and his staff and their players. That's an excellent team right there, and that was a really hard-fought win, and we got a lot of things we can learn from it, but we'll certainly take it, and it was great by our players.
Today for Rod. Ty Montgomery decides to bring it out, and the ball is loose. Rams say they have the ball as Montgomery spits it up. And it's LA football.
Yanked it out, if he punched it out, or if the ball just simply came loose. But what a turn of events.
Welcome to a new Clash of the Horns. And since last week's win against the Packers, which unfortunately I didn't make a video because I was in Vegas trying to have as much fun as I could. We all knew that the Rams came out victorious with the near win in the end, with Ramik Wilson creating a fumble on special teams and T.Y. Montgomery basically pissing off his whole team to the point that they traded him. The Rams went out and got an edge rusher, and they basically filled their only weakness on the team, which was the pass rusher on the right side, right next to Aaron Donald, right there. Right next to the best player in the NFL. And they really solidified themselves as the top team in the NFC and the NFL to that. But they only made themselves better. And it's hard for an 8-0 team to even say that, but they made themselves better. And with the Rams playing against the Saints, they had to do something to overcome a problem that they've had for the longest. And by getting Dante Fowler, that's exactly what they did. The only thing they could do now is just wait and see how it turns out. They gave out a 3rd-round pick, and then they gave out a 5th-rounder for next season for the top 3 player, and I think it was a 2015 draft, who was playing out of position, but he's had sacks. He's seen flashes of greatness with Dante Fowler. So hopefully that comes out, and the Rams make themselves a lot better than they already are, because it can happen. There's been times where I've seen the Rams could have had like 6 sacks right now with just a quicker guy off the edge, just an easy sack, because Matt Longacre wasn't cutting it, to tell you the truth, and John Franklin Myers will come out of that side, Trayvon Young, but those guys aren't elite pass rushers, and they finally got one. I do think with the change of scenery and the scheme change, Dante Fowler could be what I considered Okoronkwo to be, which is going to be awesome too, having 2 guys like that off the edge. A fantastic pass rusher with the LA Rams already having the stacked defensive line. Plus, Samson Ebukam is also pretty decent as well. He's more of a power guy, but you need that speedy inside move kind of dude with the spin move. You need him off the right side next to Aaron Donald. And that just made this Rams team a lot harder to compete against. Now moving on from that topic, we got the New Orleans Saints. And what do we keep hearing as the Rams? The Rams haven't beat anybody. They beat the Raiders. Okay, well the Raiders aren't that good. They beat the Chargers. Well, they weren't that good at the time. They're good now, but they weren't good at the time. The Cardinals suck. The Vikings have Kirk Cousins. You kept hearing all this stuff, man. The Rams can't do anything right because they're not the damn Dallas Cowboys. They're not Tom Brady's Patriots. They're not the Green Bay Packers, even though they just beat Green Bay. But that's not enough because that's because T.Y. Hilton fumbled the ball and they didn't give pretty boy, baby, crying all the damn time, Aaron Rodgers the ball to come out with another win. No, the Rams cannot do anything right. They don't play special teams good. They don't have a good running game or a good defensive line with some good linebackers, a young core, and a great Jared Goff, being the quarterback that he is. No. It's because teams are bad. Well, now they get to play the other top dog in the NFC, the New Orleans Saints, a team that we have a lot of history against, going back from the greatest show on turf, going back in the 80s, going back even since last year when the Rams had worst roster, if you look at it, with struggling to stop the run. We're at 28th in stopping the run this year. I think we're top 15 stopping the run. But we're creating sacks through the defensive line. Our pass defense is actually worse than last season, which is crazy because we have Marcus Peters. But we do have more takeaways than last year at this point. Well, the Rams get to change all that. We get to be basically supreme dog in the NFC by beating New Orleans Saints. And I think it can be done. Since one reason I think it can be done is because Marcus Davenport won't be playing for, like they said, the next month because of a foot injury. And he's been a pretty good, consistent, guy off the edge for them. Not only that, but Drew Brees, man. Jared Goff and Drew Brees dueled that out last year. I think if the Rams can get after Drew Brees and make his life a living hell, with Dante Fowler coming off the edge at certain, passing downs, you already have a stacked defensive line. And Aaron Donald loves sacking Drew Brees. Special teams is going to have to come and play. Not only that, but Todd Gurley. How are they going to stop Todd Gurley? He can either beat you in the ground or he can beat you in the air. You got to pick your poison. With Cooper Kupp coming back from his injury, this is going to be a good game. The Rams are going to be basically playing for their name, playing for if they're a real 9-0 team, 8-0 team, and if they're the top dog in the NFC. A lot of people keep bringing up that, the Eagles are coming back, or the Saints are the top dog now, or possibly, look at the AFC. They couldn't beat Tom Brady if they were to play right now. I even heard that. Blasphemous. The Rams are the best team in the NFL, and they just got better. I would still have said that if we didn't have Dante Fowler. We were waiting for Okoronkwo to come back. I still thought the Rams are the best team overall in the NFL. And then Aqib Talib will come back eventually off of his ankle injury. Horrible timing too, but we'll look at the way that the Rams have really came to play, even though he is injured. I mean, if you look at the way that the Rams just keep scoring points and their red zone defense is pretty good, that's because the Rams are allowing teams to score field goals and not to score touchdowns, and the Rams are scoring a ton of touchdowns. You saw it against the Packers. It was 10 unanswered points, and the Rams started coming back against one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And yes, I think Jared Goff outplayed Aaron Rodgers, and in certain third down conversions, here comes the Rams sacking Aaron Rodgers, and they only had to kick field goals. That's why the Rams won, because of their defense and their defensive line, and primarily Aaron Donald, who the Rams had both the Offensive Player of the Month and the Defensive Player of the Month with Todd Gurley and Aaron Donald in the month of Ramtober, because that's what I'm calling it, Ramtober, because the Rams are dominating in Ramtober. Now, I don't know what to tell you guys when it comes to the Saints. I still think they're a really good team. Don't get me wrong. I love the way that the running backs are playing, Ingram and Kamara. And then I respect the hell out of Drew Brees, but I hate Sean Payton. And I want the new kid on the block, Sean McVay, basically the most important coach this season, the best coach of this, the head coach of this season, to beat the hell out of that guy. Because if you guys remember back in freaking preseason, he was beating the brakes off of this Rams team. All these, practice squad players and these guys that ended up getting cut, a lot of them, man, were getting torched by this, Saints team with no mercy. And hopefully we don't show any mercy when we go into that dome and display our dominance all over that New Orleans Saints team. And if we lose against this New Orleans Saints team, I still think we have a better squad. But they probably outplayed us, or the crowd could be in effect because they say it's a hard place to to play in New Orleans, even though we beat them already. But that's in LA. Now, this Rams team, we played the Cowboys in domes. We've played other teams that have really good, fan turnout. But there's what they keep hyping up. I keep looking at this as a Vikings game as well. I'm looking at this like we're playing the Vikings in LA. I don't think this Rams team really cares where they're playing. They know that they're good, and they have that kind of confidence. They have that kind of swag. And to tell you the truth, with Dante Fowler coming in this game, because I still think Dante Fowler was just played out of his, preferred position. I think he was more of an edge guy, outside linebacker, which we needed, and which is a really good, amazing trade by Les Snead and Sean McVay and Wade Phillips. Those guys know what they're talking about and they're doing. I think Dante Fowler's going to be a beast for the Rams, him and Okoronkwo. But you just got to see if they come out and play on Sundays. But to tell you the truth, I think the Rams have this game against the New Orleans Saints. They're just too dominant. They're just too good. The team is basically has no blemishes except for Aqib Talib, being injured. So that secondary is going to be very vulnerable in this game. But we need LaMarcus Joyner to come out big. We need John Johnson, this young stud safety, to come out big, and Marcus Peters just has to play decent, man. Marcus Peters been getting beat lately, but the linebackers look good. Corey Littleton, my favorite, inside linebacker, that unspoken truth inside linebacker, Corey Littleton, has to play decent as well. And we already know that defensive line has to be disruptive. One thing, the Rams have the 5th and 4th best tackles in the league with Rob Havenstein and my dude, Andrew Whitworth, the guy that keeps getting better with age, just like wine. But they got the other 2 best tackles. I forgot their names, but the right and left tackle for the Saints, they're the other 2 best tackles in the league. So our guys are going to have to put in work, whether it's Aaron Donald, Dante Fowler, Ebukam, Brockers, and then Sue as in the nose tackle position, who has really upgraded our run defense. Even though they keep saying the Rams are getting torched, that's the 2017 Rams. This Rams team doesn't get as beat as much in the ground as they were last year because of the upgrade in that position with Ndamukong Suh. You have 4 first-rounders in that defensive line alone with Dante Fowler, Aaron Donald, Ndamukong Suh, and Michael Brockers. That's the crazy thing about this team, is they ended up getting really good players in free agency and making trades to really upgrade that roster. Now, if only our secondary can, step it up, because you never know if it's Troy Hill or Sam Shields. I prefer Sam Shields on that side until Aqib Talib comes back, because at least he competes. I feel like he gets his hands on the ball at times. And then Marcus Peters, unfortunately, he's not playing up to what we expected of him, but he's still our best corner. Then you have John Johnson and LaMarcus Joyner. So, the Rams have to really go in there and with confidence, and I want them to just pulverize the Saints team. I know we're better than them. Teams keep hyping up everyone else in the NFC except the Rams. That's the media. There's certain players that go out of their way in the media and then give the Rams props, but this is the less talked about 8 to 9-0 team in the NFL history, and it's because it's the Los Angeles Rams. If there were to be any other team like the Cowboys, Patriots, Green Bay, maybe the Falcons, they got a lot of hype too, and back in the day, then they would have been talking about it 24/7. But the Rams, it's the Rams, man. And that, unfortunately, we have to go win the Super Bowl, and we'll be one of those more talked about teams, and we'll be one of those teams that other teams like the struggling teams like the Titans and the Chargers, and even though they're doing good right now, they still haven't won a Super Bowl. All these Super Bowl-less teams, they'll be looking up to the Rams and seeing how the way that they can change their team, because they've been inspired by the Los Angeles Rams and the turnaround that they had under Sean McVay, Wade Phillips. So I can't wait to see the Rams go out there and play the Saints, and it's going to be a really good game. And I think the Rams would score 30. I'm going to say 33, and the Saints to score either 27 or 30. It's going to be a really close one. I don't think the Rams come out into this game and blow out the New Orleans Saints, because that's not New Orleans Saints. They have Drew Brees. He can out there and just like Aaron Rodgers, just sling it. But I still think our Rams defense is going to be just giving us that little edge that we need. And it is what it is, man. Even though I've seen that the Saints are the #1 best run defense team, they really haven't played anybody, man, when it comes to stopping the run. They haven't played a running team like the Rams yet. And we know we like misdirection, play action, and offense. That's our main component on offense. And just letting Goff sling it and not be afraid. The Rams are not afraid to attack you in the air or in the ground. However you want it, we're going to give it to you. So that's the Sean McVay way, and then Sean McVay is the way. So until next time, you guys, go Rams. Let's go 9-0, and let's go quiet and silence these haters. It's not the silence of the Rams, it's the violence of the Rams. Go Rams.
That's going to be a safety.
Start the second half.
Goff able to step out of trouble and throws and look incomplete yet at the ground.
To say that he got it. He's pointing now. He's pointing up. But they're out of timeout.
First down and Goff has it batted in the air and then caught by Gurley. They're going to throw it 32 here. And there is Aaron Donald. Saints. Gurley across the middle. Will he find the end zone? He will again.
Players that they have back there in the secondary.
They play the drive. And a touchdown to Reynolds once again. Montgomery decides to bring it out, and the ball is loose. Rams say they have the ball as Montgomery spits it up, and it's LA football.